Hey guys, and welcome to our very first official video for the Rate My Team YouTube series that we are starting. We are very excited. Let's all say hi. I am here with Matt, who goes by Fakestreet on Showdown.
Hello.
And
Awesome.
Analytic.
What's up?
We have a team we're going to go through today. It is a mega-gyarados team that was built by user RedZoneX that we pulled right off the chat. I'm going to pull it up for you guys, and let's take a look here. Where do you guys want to start with this? You want to talk generally about the team? What do you guys have to say about this, just for looking at it?
I'm gonna be speaking about the aim of the goal, which I believe that each rater should keep in mind while rating, because each team has to achieve and has a dedicated goal. And I believe a lot of mistakes that new raiders do is that they make changes that strays away from the goal of the team and completely renders the builder's efforts useless in the first place.
The point of these videos is to help people, especially people who are new, people who are building a team for the first time, or are in that weird transitional phase where they, you know, can sort of build a team, but they're always just not quite right, which we've all been through, to think about these things and help them accomplish their goals. That is the point of rating, and that's the point of the video. So if we're changing a team so much that it completely changes the original goal of the team, we're not doing our jobs.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So obviously we have Gyarados over here, and when you complement it with stuff like Zapdos, Clefable, Talonflame, all are meant to break through its checks, and the aim of the team is to attain a sweep with DD Gyarados. It's pretty simple, actually.
Yeah, it's a fairly simple team in terms of just sort of going for the DD mega-gyarados endgame most likely, and there's also the option for the Clefable endgame, which is, I guess, an option with every team that contains Clefable.
You never don't have a Shower Clefable. It's always useful on each game.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing about Mega-Gyarados. I mean, honestly, if you're going to build a Mega-Gyarados team, you're going to build it around Mega-Gyarados being your win con. It's almost never not the case, like you said about Clefable also. Where do we want to start?
I think we may as well start with the pink blob of death herself.
The number one threat that I can identify at the moment is Mega Medicham, which completely blows away the team, especially because of the Clefable spread. But I guess it's pretty easy to just change the EV spread up a little. So we're gonna be going with a spread of max HP, 216 defense, and 40 special defense for Clefable. When you pair this with a bold nature, this will avoid the 2-hit KO from Adamant high jump kick.
Basically what we're doing is we're taking some of the special defense out of that and putting it into defense so that we can minimize the damage that Clefable takes from high jump kick, mostly.
Yeah.
And throwing bold on there just to boost that defense a little bit, as opposed to, I think this set on Smogon uses Calm, probably, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it does use Calm, yes. It's the other thing this does is our Clefable spread that's on the Smogon website is generally helps it take medium power special attacks, such as those like the likes of Keldeo, Scald, and the likes of Thunderous. However, this team already has a reasonably specially defensive Moongus, which switches into both of those fairly easily.
Also, the team's ice resist are literally 0. Like
that was the thing that was the biggest issue for me. I'm like, okay, Landorus, Amoonguss, Zapdos. I'm like, it literally has 0. Well, Gyarados, but that's not even a resist before it Mega Evolves.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be priority number 1 when you face Revolt teams, is getting off the Mega Evolution quickly.
That kind of cripples Gyarados a little bit, though, also.
Yeah, it does. It does counteract Gyarados' ability to set up, because it can come in on so many Pokemon, get off the Intimidate, and set up a DD and potentially win. But if you're gonna be forced to Mega Evolve so early on in the game,
you can't switch in on an Earthquake or a U-turn or whatever anymore.
Yeah, and I think it works more in the favor of the opponent than in favor of...
It feels like it kind of forces you to be predictable.
Yeah, it does.
In that sense.
Yeah.
Like Clefable, I mean, how many times have you seen Clefable fall to a flinch and then just die? Also, LO Poison Jab Weavile is not uncommon, not unheard of. So yeah, Weavile looks like a pretty big threat right now.
Yeah.
I agree. So what are we thinking to do about that?
Well, the thing is, with the makeup of the team, I don't think we can do something overly major as to put a dedicated Weavile answer. However, I believe that more than anything, it's important to take note of Weavile rather than do anything to change the team in regards to answering it, because you'll always be susceptible to some threat or the other. It's your ass after all. And I really don't think that Weavile is gonna be completely winning games. Like, it's not an auto win versus a team for sure. And I think more than anything, the person who's made this team needs to keep in mind that Weavile is a threat.
How much does Clefable take from an Icicle Crash with that spread? Just out of curiosity.
40 to 47% from an Icicle Crash, that's the Life Orb, and 50 to 59% on a Poison Jab. It feels like this is just not switching for Weavile overall. And the Choice Banded variant, obviously, 2-8 KOs with Icicle Crash.
But it does help a lot with the Weevil issue.
It does, yeah. I think this is the best that we can do with the framework of the team.
Back to a point we made earlier, I think we mentioning that Gyarados doesn't really want to take U-turns very often. I don't feel like this team in general wants to take U-turns very often. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, Wolfton kind of destroys the team. Like, you have a Landorus, but
it's not running Rocky Helmet, which I feel is
not.
Which I feel like.
Yeah.
It should be running. It should be running on this team. I feel like.
It should be, but I believe the downside to that is we're gonna be really left open to stuff like X control plus insert whatever physical or
pretty weak to see beat Alpha's Drill. And Mega Lops also a bit more of an issue.
You can still handle it, but I believe that X control is one really major issue.
So go Rocky Helmet on Landorus or no?
I think yeah.
Okay. Also Toxic on Landorus. You want to keep that?
Well, I think since we're not running EQ Gyarados, I think Toxic definitely does have an advantage in
for like Rotom.
Yeah, but at the same time you have Amogus, which I feel is gonna be answering Rotom pretty well, as well as Clefable. So I think at the end of all this, Toxic is probably not needed here.
Yeah, and we were concerned about bird spam, right? I mean, having Stone Edge on there is going to help.
I think I would go with Stone Edge here. I mean, it's like toxic alternate uses for like dealing with Slowbro and bulky ground types. However, mega-gyarados is very good at already sweeping through those anyway.
Yeah,
the whole put Toxic on random things to kill bulky waters is not really necessary on this team.
Toxic Landorus is a thing, but the problem is that all of its other moves are just so vital that it's kind of like we were just saying, yeah, I see the point of it, for sure. Rotom, stuff like that. But Stone Edge just has more utility at the end of the day, I think.
Agreed. I think as far as Landorus's options go, I think Sword Stance is probably one of the more effective other options in order to break through stall if you need to break it. And also threaten things like Mega Scizor. But I don't think this team needs that very much at all. And
also, Swords Dance with just Earthquake is kind of...
Yeah, agreed. It's not particularly great.
Yeah.
I just think Toxic isn't really needed here. The things that Toxic hits are not problems for this team.
I agree. So let's change it to Stone Edge as well.
Yeah.
How are you gonna fix the QMB weakness at the moment? Is horrid, actually. It's just so bad.
Making the changes that we've had and lowering Clefable's special defense is the reason, right? So we're much weaker to cure him now. What do you want to do about that?
We don't have any Pokemon that can even outspeed, let alone switch in. So I think that will call for something like Latias over Zapdos. Manaphy is pretty much fixing Canyon, although it's so uncommon right now, it is gonna put in work. We're running dual Intimidate and Talonflame and Latias. I don't necessarily agree with the statement that we're gonna be getting messed up by Pinster, but I do see where both of y'all are coming from. But at the same time, I think Latias adds in a lot of merits to the team that we don't really possess at the moment. And I believe with these kind of archetypes, I believe that we should definitely possess some sort of speed control. And also Latias adds in healing with support, which I feel is invaluable against some teams.
And for that matter, invaluable on a team that has mega-gyarados on it in general, like, to be honest. Because mega-gyarados hate status so much and is so strong, but not that bulky. Healing Wish
The very
is big.
fact that you have a Latias to fall back on means that you can play a bit more aggressively with Gyarados in terms of setting up early on. And just, like, let's say you're up against a Rotom, which is kind of heavily. Let's take 70%, for example. And you're going to go for the crunch. It gets up the lowest. You go for the crunch again. You're burned right now, but you having Amoonguss, Clefable, Latias, you can just, play around that. The fact that you have those Pokemon, you can easily use that to maneuver yourself into a position where you can Healing Wish up with Gyarados, with Latias to the Gyarados, and then possibly go for another attempt to sweep.
All right, I'll put it in there then. So one of the things that we talked about in the notes was Stun Spore on Amoonguss. What do you think about that?
We're really annoyed by stuff like Ferrothorn. So I think Amoonguss is kind of it kind of has merit running SP Fire. If you want something like Fire Blast on Clefable, I believe Fire Blast is a good option here because it's gonna lure in stuff for mega-gyarados, which is completely gonna contribute to the goal of the team, while also retaining the fire coverage that would have been lost if Amoonguss is running Stun Spore. So I believe we can probably do that.
We're just really swapping the fire coverage and the speed control around to try and get the speed control onto more valuable targets.
Yeah. Also, Clefable running Fire Blast is pretty uncommon nowadays. So you only see teams packing stuff like Jawachis and Skarmory Aztecs, which if you're running Fire Blast, you just get completely destroyed.
I strongly agree. No one, it's one of those things where fire moves on Clef are one of those things that are not unheard of, but uncommon enough where when people are deciding to figure out what their ideal play is and they have to take a risk, they're usually going to take it and get extremely punished by having a move like that on Clef.
One more option that we can consider is Focus Blast. While it might seem kind of weird on the team, I think Focus Blast lures in stuff for Talonflame so well. Like, so well. Talonflame is getting walled by stuff like Heatran and, well, Heatran only, I guess, but yeah.
No, that applies to Tyranitar also, big time.
But yeah, I guess
Tyranitar takes a ton from Moonblasts already, and sort of.
Yeah, it does, but I guess if you're in a pinch and need to get the Oko somehow, and Moonblast isn't achieving that, Focus Blast could probably be the way to go. So yeah, that could sound like one option that we can strongly consider. But overall, I believe that Fire Blast had more merit in terms of attaining the goal of the team.
Well, here's what we could do. Guys, there's going to be a pay spin of the team with all of our changes in the description of the video once we post it on YouTube. What we could do is, in the pay spin, we could put Fire Blast / Focus Blast.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think we agree with that. Yeah, leave it totally up to the person whoever wants to use this team. I think both are viable options. I think Fire Blast sticks more to the plan that the team initially had, whereas Focus Blast sort of aids the secondary game plan of being able to set up with a bulk up Talonflame sweep.
Awesome. So, any last thoughts on this team from anybody?
It's slow as hell, and I will not be trying to play it.
My thoughts on these kind of teams in general, ever since OS came out, is that they're always going to struggle against stuff like, Manaphy, QMB. And ironically enough, this team is weak to mega-gyarados as well. So, I think more than anything, a very general rule that team builders and raters alike should keep in mind while facing this type of odds type is that you're gonna have to have some sort of speed control, because you're gonna need to outspeed those threats. Like you're gonna be giving away so many opportunities for them to set up that you're gonna have to pack some sort of speed control in general. And I think Latias this is why Latias fits so perfectly on here. And also because the healing with support is pretty invaluable to this team, because not only can it help mega-gyarados get another opportunity to sweep, but also it can heal up a defensive mon that can, last its attempt to win. So yeah, I think that is why Latias was a really good addition here. And that's what you should keep in mind rather than trying to cover everything, because you're not going to be able to. Just remember that.
Okay, cool. Any other last thoughts before I wrap this up?
No, nothing else to say.
Please don't use these kind of teams in OS. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
I will enjoy pressing Ice Beam with my mixed Curum and laughing at your switchins.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us again. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and like our videos. My name's Tibbz, and I was here today with you with Analytic and Matt. And we'll be back soon. Keep an eye out for more content, and have fun and play Pokemon.